Okay, and welcome to our series of tutorials having to do with radio production. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is how to actually record a radio file using Adobe Audition. So this will be a software-only demonstration. It's understood that in order to record into the radio system, you have to be using the mixer. The microphone goes into the mixer goes into the recording computer, and the playback computer also goes into the mixer, which goes again into the recording computer. So we're going to focus on the recording computer now. So here we have the Adobe Audition window. When you open up Adobe Audition, this is what you're going to see first. And it looks a little intimidating, but it's actually not. And so the very first thing we must do is to make a new radio file. And so if you go to File, New, Audio File, or you can hit Shift Control or Control Shift N, and you will get this. So it's important that you understand file management. It's absolutely critical. So we're going to call this one radio underscore demo, and we have to know where this is going. I'm going to hit OK. There I have my recording screen. There's my levels. And what I want to do is I want to make sure I know where this file is going. So if I go to File, Save As, it's going to go to Radio Demo Wave, and so here we need to give it a place to go. So in your radio system, you're going to have a folder called MU Radio, and within there you're going to make a folder for your shows. It should have the name of your show or your name or whatever it is, but make sure you can identify that and make sure you save it within the C drive, within the MU Radio folder, so it doesn't get lost. Don't put it in My Documents or something like that. That will create chaos. I'm just going to call this Class Example, and so I'm going to put this in the Class Example folder, and so at that point whatever we do here is going to be saved properly. And it's going to be saved as a WAV file, which is okay, and it's going to be saved stereo, 32-bit, and 48,000 hertz, which is perfectly all right. And it's going to be saved as an uncompressed file. So at this point, those settings are pretty good. And so there we are. And so here, everything gets a whole lot easier. Basically, what you're doing is you're hitting record. And so if I hit the record button, it will begin measuring levels. Now notice when I talk, the levels are measured down here and they're recorded up here. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to have distortion. We want to have this work out well. If you look at the side of the scale here, you'll notice that my words are coming in between -6 on the scale and -3. That's a little bit low, but it's actually quite workable. If it was towards the top, it might flatten out. And if you couldn't see it at all, there'd be a problem there as well. So the idea is that is what you want to do. And so once you start your show, you record and make sure that you see the waveform advancing and the audio levels there. And if the levels need to be adjusted, you use the mixer. And that's pretty much what you want to do. And when you're done with the show, assuming this is a live show, you'll also see the timing, by the way. This is the timer right here, which tells you how long the show is going. And when it's done, you just go ahead and hit stop. And there you are. And of course, if you were doing this live, you would also want to set the transmitter to put out on the internet. And so when you're done with your show, you can play it back by hitting the playback button. And that's it for basic recording of a show.